Hi everyone. Okay, I'm back again. I'm gonna try and pin the comment and then get right to it. To everybody who just joined us today, I'm being joined by Fred from Mouawad. We had a little technical difficulties at first, but let me wait. Maybe he's not on yet, and then we will continue to add him. Then we can go. Oh, there it is. Perfect. I'm lucky.
Hi, Zozi. Finally.
Hi, Fred. Finally, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm so happy to finally see your face because I was looking for you frantically. I'm like, oh no, but these things happen. How have you been doing?
I've been doing well. Yes, I also was frightened. I said, "Oh no, I can't miss that session."
I was there for you. I'm like, please don't let Fred go away.
All right,
I was more
fantastic.
scared for you than I am for myself because I'm kind of used to it by now. But I'm so happy to see your face again. I'm sure everyone is happy to see you
Pleasure.
too. Because the minute I announced that you were joining us, everybody was like, oh my God, finally we get to speak about the crown. And a lot of people very curious to find out if do I have a trip to Thailand. Everyone was like, please ask him if there's a trip to Thailand. So I'm sure that's something that we are going to address as we go on with our conversation. Fred, I'm just gonna jump straight into it because I'm sure everybody wants to know this. When you started creating the Power of Unity crown, what was the thought process?
Well, the thought process was that we wanted to craft the extraordinary. That's really what we're known for as a fourth generation family business. And we saw the opportunity of partnering with Miss Universe as being unique. A crown is the pinnacle of jewelry making. And we wanted to craft a beautiful crown that would be worn by the most beautiful women in the world. So it made a lot of sense. and and we like Miss Universe because it celebrates women, it celebrates diversity, beauty, and intelligence. So these are values that we also strongly believe in. So that's why we like the association and we went ahead with the project.
Would you say that is the connection between human beauty and the beauty of jewelry? Like, was that the connection? You were like, human beauty, the beauty of jewelry. Surely this should be an amazing relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, I think there's a bit of a difference.
Okay.
Jewelry is beautiful. Human beauty is also beautiful, but both are in the eyes of the beholder, meaning that it's subjective. Some people like different colors, they like different gemstones. But when it comes to gemstones, the exceptional ones are rare. They're much rarer than the other ones. So a blue diamond, an exceptional, flawless diamond is a lot more rare than other gems. With human beauty, there's no rarity. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody has their own dimension of beauty, and as such, it's bountiful. Humans are beautiful in general, and that's why there's so much love around the world, and that's why we can find a partner for life and find all the beauty in our partners.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. You spoke, about empowering women. That's one of the thoughts that you had. When you think of an empowered woman, what's your first thought? What is an empowered woman to you? How would you describe them?
For me, empowerment is about providing equal rights and opportunities. An empowered woman is someone who is given the chance to fulfill her full potential, someone who's given access to the same education as anyone else would have access to, someone who's given the opportunity to thrive and grow in a job in a corporation. So an empowered woman should be treated equally to anyone else, whether it's another man and woman. And that's why I strongly believe in equality across the board.
See, that is my absolute favorite thing about the crown as well, is that it's called the Power of Unity. And it speaks so much about, shattering perceptions and misconceptions, and it speaks about unity and equality, which is why I think you asked me the other day when we were on the call, what is my favorite part of the crown? And I definitely said my favorite part is, you know, the big golden canary diamond that is at the top. Because when I actually found out about it, I found out that it is at the center because it is, you know, the unity that holds everything together. And I actually found out that it was from Namibia, a neighboring country to my home country, South Africa, which was, you know, such a beautiful thing to find out. When you chose that particular diamond, what was it about that golden canary that you felt needed to go on the crown?
So Zozi, I may have given you the wrong origin last time on the call, but it's from Botswana. So
Botswana.
apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, but no issues. It's 161 carat that we bought in the rough and that we manufacture ourselves. And we retrieved 3 stones out of this rough, a
Okay.
62 carat shield cut, which is at the center of the crown. And then on the side of the crown, you have 2 pear shapes that are 5 carats each. And that was also manufactured from the same 161 carat rough. So we do buy a lot of diamonds from South Africa. By the way, I love yellow diamonds, and South Africa produces some of the most beautiful yellow diamonds, including the Mawa dragon, which is the largest vivid yellow diamond ever cut in the world. And it comes from Kimberley. So we do have an office in South Africa. We do strongly believe in the country, and we source a lot of our diamonds from your country as well.
I should definitely visit Kimberley then to go see your offices and how everything is done there. It would be a very interesting trip actually just to see, you know, the business and the process and how, you know, a lot of things are pressured to become beautiful. And speaking of pressure, we all know that in order for a diamond to become as beautiful as it is, it has to undergo some kind of pressure. You know, what pressures do you think we need to undergo as humans to be the best, you know, ability of ourselves?
So I strongly believe that people should experience challenges, zones of uncomfort. They should stretch themselves in order to grow. So I strongly believe in growth. And you cannot grow unless you step out of your comfort zone, unless you challenge yourself, unless you put a lot of effort into what you do. So everyone should figure how to challenge themselves, learn new skills, get new experiences, and not necessarily pursue wealth in terms of monetary wealth, but pursue wealth in experiences. Be rich in experience, I think, is the most important skill one could go and pursue.
I agree. And speaking of pressure and undergoing challenges, that's something that I'm sure you've definitely undergone along with your brothers. You said earlier on that you are 4th generation into the business. How difficult has it been, you know, keeping the momentum from when the business was built to now? What are the pressures and how hard have you worked? Do you feel any kind of pressure to keep the momentum going as a 4th generation?
I do. Most businesses don't survive up to the 3rd generation. So for us being there as the 4th generation, our focus is not only surviving and thriving, but it's also about how do we pass on to the next generation, the 5th generation. So we do have our children who are interested in the business. So for me, it's about how to continue building a legacy. That's why the 3 brothers, we're all 4th generation. We call ourselves co-guardians because we realize that we're guarding the heritage and then having the responsibility of transitioning to the next generation. So we really think long-term about our business. And to do that, we have to stick to the values of the organization, which is about integrity, reputation. How do we maintain our reputation? How do we do good in the world? That's why we love the Miss Universe Association. How can we use our art and our craft in order to convey positive messages that can actually help humanity become better? So we strongly believe in doing good as a family, and continuity is very important for us to leave a legacy.
Is it possible to make loads and loads of money as a business and still do good?
Absolutely. I believe they go hand in hand. You can't really, in today's world, you can't really just focus on money. You've got to do good. You've got to look after your customers, after your employees, after your communities. And that's what we try to do as an organization. We for example, have trained a lot of young South Africans in South Africa on how to cut diamonds. So we have sent them to Thailand to train. We send them back to South Africa. We reemploy some of them. These are some of the initiatives that we pursue while we do business in order to do good.
Absolutely. I agree. How important is it, do you think, for people in positions of power and people in corporate spaces and people with businesses to have a voice that fights against social discrimination? How important do you think is it for people like you to have a voice?
It's extremely important because people that are in a position of power have the ability to influence and make a change, at least in their organization or in the communities that they are in. And so for me, it's the responsibility of every single leader to reach racial justice, to avoid any biases against gender or race, to create the right environment that enables everybody to thrive. And it's the responsibility of all the leaders and organizations to do it. And I think the first step is being very inclusive. All companies should be very intentional in regards to who they hire in the organization, make sure that there's enough diversity based on the geography they operate in. And then secondly, they have to make sure that they're giving an equal opportunity for every single person to thrive and not to bias in any way. So they have to come up with policies and then follow through just to make sure that everybody's being treated equally and everybody's given a chance to become their best in the organization.
Yeah.
But Zozi, I know that you're also very passionate about the subject, so maybe I'd love to hear your opinion about discrimination and empowerment.
Absolutely. I actually wrote it down as you just said it because it's something that I'm very passionate about. You spoke about policies, which is something I always speak about when I speak on social discrimination and gender equality and just equality as a whole, is that we like to speak a lot, we talk a lot, but we never, put in any action to it. And so the fact that you said we need to back it up when we speak and have actual policies that make sure that we see a world where we are, more equal. It makes me super happy that you said that as someone who is in a position that you are in, because it's so important to know that talk is cheap sometimes, and we should take it a step further by making sure that we are those people that we say we truly are. And I love that you said when you look at your company, you want to see diversity, you want to see range, because that's not something that we see a lot. It's not. I'm from South Africa, which is 89%, I think, Black people in South Africa overall, and that's a lot of people. But you will sometimes find that in certain companies, there's not enough, people of color working in that organization, which is not okay. You'll find that there's not enough women working in that organization, which is not okay. And then you'll further find that there's people who are differently abled from us, people who have different disabilities who are also excluded from industries. And so, I think it's fantastic that you do what you do, that you put down the policies. And I think it's more of what other people should be doing as well.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. You speak very fondly of women, and I absolutely love it. So I want to know, do you have any favorite women leaders, whether in business, politics, anywhere? Like, it doesn't have to be a popular, famous person. Just, do you have any woman in mind that you think of?
Well, of course. Before I mention a person, which would be my mother. That's the first person that comes that comes to mind. She's made so many sacrifices. She's just always loving, always gave us unconditional love. I grew up in a boarding school and traveled all my entire life, but she's always been there mentally, morally to support us. So I have a lot of admiration for her love, her passion, and commitment to her children. But I think more importantly, for me, every woman is a hero. Every person in this world is a hero. And we have to look at each person and look at their strength, look at their journey along life, and inspire them and give them the means to become the best they can be. So for me, when I meet any person, I try to find the hero in that person, and every person can inspire me if I take enough time and have deep conversations, and if I'm interested enough to learn more about their background. I always find something that inspires me. And that's the most important thing to me.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. I want to bring, I see a lot of people have been asking me, Zozi, do you still have the crown with you? And I wanted to make a special appearance. This hasn't happened in like, and I love that our numbers just shot up. I feel like people knew that the crown is coming out. Fred, let me tell you, you are the first person I've shown the crown to since I've started doing these lives. So I'm happy that it could come out. I mean, look at it. It's precious.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I remember when we first saw it as contestants, when we had the big reveal, and all of us, I remember all of us just wanting to be close to it. And there were so many countries, and we just kept on pushing because it just stood there, and it was just super incredible. And people pointed out something when I first wore the crown, is that it looked so much like my evening gown. It just like all looked together. This is the stone that I was telling everyone about. That is my absolute favorite. What is your favorite part about the crown, Fred?
So a few things I like. The fact that the motifs in the crown are petals, they are leaves and vines, and it's meant to represent communities coming together, uniting together, because together we are stronger.
Absolutely.
And that's the inspiration behind the crown. And I like the fact that the center stone is a shield cut. And it's a reminder that we should shield biases against human beings in general. So we should look at people in a lens that is not discriminating, and really give the chance for everyone to shine regardless of their race, of their gender or background.
I'm absolutely honored, first of all, that I am the first ever person to put this crown on my beautiful hair and on my beautiful head. It was quite an honor to be able to represent this unity, because I feel like the moment I put it on my head, I realized the gravity of it all, that this is not just a piece of jewelry. It's not just a crown. It has like a story behind it. It's about to unite communities. It's about to unite countries. And I think that's what's most special about it. And as much as I love the diamonds, I love what it stands for and what it represents. And so I'm so happy that I could bring it out today and show it to everyone. I'm sure they have questions for us, Fred. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open up the questions to see if anybody has anything to ask you, particularly about the crown. This is everyone's favorite question, so I'm just going to put it on there. How much did it take, how much did it cost to make the crown?
So the value of the crown is $5 million US.
Whew. Did you hear that, guys? This is why everybody asks me whenever I travel, do you travel with the real one? If you do you travel with security? These are the most famous questions that I get from people. Wow, that's quite a lot of money. Let's see if we have, oh, here's another one. How long did it take to make the crown?
So it took 3 months of manufacturing. It took about 10 craftsmen, very experienced craftsmen with over 20 years, in some cases 30-year experience. And what's unique is that we have not only designed the crown and crafted it in our own workshop, but we also, as I mentioned earlier, crafted the diamonds from rough, at least for the 3 golden canary diamonds. So it is very much a piece that's been handcrafted and created in our workshops, and we're very proud of it. And we're also very proud, Zozi, that you're the first person wearing it. We couldn't have thought of a better ambassador for the Power of Unity crown. So we're delighted that you won.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fred. I appreciate that. Let's see. I love that it takes, everything about this crown is just lessons to me, because you took care of making it, which teaches us that in order for, things to come out beautifully, we have to take time with them. And we have to do it with so much love and so much care. I'd like to
add, Zozi,
yes,
that this was really a collaboration with Miss Universe. So we worked very closely with the Miss Universe team. They had the idea of building a crown that would symbolize that unity. So we went back and forth, and I think we probably had over 20 different versions before we were able to finalize that one. So the whole
Decided
process is very iterative. It's a lot of back and forth, and it's teamwork. It's a collaborative process.
Yeah, you can tell just by looking at it that a lot of work went into it and a lot of thought process went into it. And I love that. I have another question for you. Someone wants to know, what is your social enterprise and advocacy project? Like, do you have any foundations? Do you have anything like that?
Yes, we have the Mawa Diamond Impact Fund, which was set up recently. It's currently being overlooked by my son, Jimmy, who's 23 years old. He's studying gemology now, and he will be looking after the Mawa Diamond Impact Fund. We have lots of projects in the pipeline. That's in addition to the Robert Mouawad Foundation, which is the family foundation that we've had for decades. So this is a new one that will very much focus on supporting communities around the world, specifically diamond producing communities, and figuring how to provide skills and how to educate people in such regions so they become more autonomous, so they can develop, and as a result, help other people in their communities. So we believe in helping people at the core instead of just handing money or just providing assets. We believe in educating and providing skills that enable people to become a lot more autonomous and much more fulfilled throughout their entire life.
Okay. That is like one of my favorite sayings is teach a man. It's give a man fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So I love that you equip people with skills, because you don't want people to be, dependent on people the whole time. So I love that idea. I'm going to look for more questions from people. Okay, so somebody, I think we might have answered this, but this person might not have been here. So they want to know, where did you get the inspiration to create a unity-themed crown?
So the whole idea came from our discussion with Miss Universe, and we went back and forth, and they wanted to come up with a theme that would unite all women around the world, regardless of their background. So communities around the world. That's why we came up with the theme of petals, leaves, all intertwined in the crown to symbolize that united we are stronger.
Absolutely. United we are stronger. That is fast becoming. One other thing that I said before I take on another question, when we were on the phone a couple of days ago, I said it's so interesting how things always turn out, because you along with the Miss Universe organization came up with this theme of power in unity. And then a few months later, we start having this pandemic, where all of a sudden the whole world, for the first time ever, we are faced with the same issue. We are all fighting, the same enemy, which is, the coronavirus. And now more than ever, we became so unified. We started seeing exactly what the power of unity is, because people started giving, people started sharing, people started learning about each other, and people started holding hands even more. And so I think, again, that's why this crown will always be special to me, because it symbolizes, so many different things. And so I thought I should just really, point that out, that this crown it's in the zeitgeist of what's happening in the moment. And it's quite incredible. It's an amazing coincidence.
No, you're absolutely right. And I do very much feel that this is a proof that humanity is good at its core, and that when we work together, we're capable of so much more. Absolutely. And I hope it serves as a lesson for all nations to pull together, work together to not just make their own countries better, but the whole world better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just taught us so much more how, like you said, humanity still is alive, because people have lost so much hope in humanity. We've heard it so many times, humanity is dead. People no longer hold hands now. But we've seen it happen during this time, that people still care. And I've been saying that I hope it's something that happens even after the pandemic ends, that we don't stop being the way that we were, that we don't stop being one unit. And I think most importantly to remember that we are the human race before we are anything else, and that we should always remember that.
Josie, if you don't mind, I have a question. If you don't mind,
I don't mind.
I know we talked about women empowerment, and then we talked about the role of women, but also what's the role of man in really empowering women? Is it just the duty of women helping other women, or do men have a role in helping empower women in general?
Ooh, men absolutely do have a role. I mean, when we speak of gender equality, we're speaking of every gender in the world. And so that's why everybody needs to put in the work. I feel like whenever we speak about women issues, people instantly think, okay, that's your problem, as a woman. So women should only deal with it. And it's not, it's the responsibility of everyone, men included. I've learned something, Fred, during this time, that just because something is not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening. Which is why I need, men, women, like every gender, to be awake and realize what is happening in the world, which is why it's so important more than ever to work together as men. Definitely we need men in this fight to stand with us and to stand for us. Because, when you support women, incredible things start happening, not just for women. Economies thrive. Households thrive. Everything thrives. So it's not just about women. Everything is interconnected to each other. And also sometimes women can't be the ones with the voices because we are not the ones who are oppressing ourselves. It needs to be the oppressor who realizes that I'm actually oppressing and I need to stop and I need to educate. And so that's why it's so important for, men like you, Fred, to, join us and stand with us and be our allies. So
no, I think you're absolutely right, Zosie. I do think it's a responsibility for every man and every woman to try to reduce any bias and look at a person as an individual, regardless of race and gender, and give them all the opportunities, listen to them, and focus on their growth. And if we all did this, we could definitely create a better world. So
absolutely.
men are equally responsible in my view.
I don't know if you know, Fred, but I worked on a project, the He for She campaign. It's called He for She, as in men standing for women, in association with the United Nations and a South African bank called Standard Bank. It stands exactly for that. If you go and search He for She campaign, it will say exactly that. It is men standing for women, men and women standing together to make sure that we get to this gender equal world. And it was such an incredible project to be, a part of and to educate more on gender equality. So absolutely, we need more men. We need you. Oh, okay. I don't know if people still have any more questions for us, or if you have any more questions for me, Fred.
I do. I'd love to ask you,
Okay.
what did winning Miss Universe mean to you, and what are you doing about it to make a greater impact?
Yeah. Winning, first of all, was absolutely mind-blowing to me. I think what most of us want as contestants when we enter is just to be there, just to represent our countries, and to have our voices being heard. And so when you win, that's like, an extra bonus. For me, when I won, I joined 3 other women of color who had, different crowns, which is something that had never happened before. So my win was a win of representation and inclusion. And so that's why it was so special to me, because a lot of people who had felt less represented before felt even more represented now. And so that's why it was so special for me, because it wasn't just my win. It meant so much to so many people. And I feel like I've used my voice since the day that I won. To stand for those people, to stand for women, to stand for, social biases, to stand for equality. And so I feel like I'm still doing that even today. In as much as I can't go out there and do it in person, I still do it even at the comfort of my home, you know, through conversations like the one that I'm having with you now, through conversations with different people. And yeah, so I feel like that's what I've done, and that's what I will continue to do even after I'm done with my reign, even after the pandemic is done. It's something that I've always stood for, and I will never get tired of, you know, speaking on it. So yeah,
That's fantastic. That's why I would love for you to come over to Thailand and to speak to the youth here. So you mentioned that earlier on the call, and I hope we're able to organize it for you.
I did, because a lot of people have been asking. They did even in the comment sessions. Please speak about your trip to Thailand. And I think everyone is still aware of the pandemic that is happening. Not a lot of traveling is allowed. And so we are still under those strict restrictions as well, that I can't travel for now. But definitely you guys will be the first to know if and when the trip is happening, for sure. But I'm looking forward to whenever that may be, Fred.
Excellent.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for extending the invite. So everybody, you heard, Fred has invited me to Thailand. It's just that circumstances. Oh, okay, this is a nice one. What does unity mean to each of you? Do you want to go first, Fred?
Sure. Unity means working together, pulling together, pursuing a common interest. So it is uniting around a mission you strongly believe in. And when you are aligned, working on a mission, you're capable of achieving a lot more. So that's what we mean by unity for good. And there are a lot of areas we can do good in this world. So by working as a team, working united, we can achieve a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. For me, I think I would say unity is letting go of everything that makes us different and focusing on what makes us the same. Because if we actually look into ourselves, we are more alike than we are different. And so I think that's what unity means to me, focusing, you know, on how we can work together in order to achieve this one goal that you just spoke about. So absolutely, I agree. I think we have a similar description of what unity is. I love that. I think I'm going to take maybe 3 more questions, Fred, and then we can try and wrap up our conversation within the next 10 minutes. So I'll take in a few more, and then we'll have hours. This is a good laugh for me and you, Fred. Does Miss Universe get to keep the crown? Well, I mean, somebody else has to wear it next year, so I would love to pack it up and go home with it to South Africa, but I can't unless, you know, Fred wants to gift it to me.
Well, I'd love to give it to you, Zozi. And by the way, you'll be receiving a tiara that you'll be keeping. It's not that crown, but I believe that we are producing some crowns for the contestants to keep, the winners to keep. But this one, as you said, it is kept for the next few years, hopefully. Correct. Yes. So
you heard it here first, guys. I will not be going home with the $5 million crown. So when I land in South Africa, please don't come and try to see if I have $5 million on me. I will not have $5 million.
But make sure you put the crown back in the safe tonight.
Absolutely. I'm locking it up, and I have security guards, like about 10 of them, standing outside.
Very good. Excellent.
I love that. So yeah, definitely getting a tiara, guys, not keeping the crown. We never do, because you have to pass it on to the next girl. Okay, let's see, maybe 1, 2 more. Okay, someone said, where's the Mouawad family business mainly focusing on? I think maybe they want to know, like, where's your biggest growth? Like, what's your biggest... Because I know you said you have offices in South Africa, but that's probably not like your biggest. So they want to know where.
So yes, we have a strong presence in the Middle East, some in Asia. And so originally we're from Lebanon. My father grew the business internationally, my father, Robert. So we've been in Switzerland for 45 years as well, where we manufacture our watches. So we're a very international business where we have offices on almost every continent. We manufacture in Asia, we retail in Asia, we're in Europe as well with our Swiss watch brands, Swiss manufacturing. So our presence is international, but more and more we will be organizing private exhibitions. Our positioning is in the very high end.
Mm-hmm.
We craft the extraordinary, so we really focus on exceptional gemstones, exceptional jewels, and that's where we want to keep our focus in the long run. And as a result, we'll have to travel around the world and show our products instead of just opening multiple stores, because at the end of the day, we have a very small clientele, very high-end clientele, and that's who we want to cater to.
Absolutely. Do you have any other places besides South Africa in Africa? I know you said Botswana as well, right?
We have so we have an office. We have a small factory in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So next time I'm there, I'd love for you to visit it. Yes.
What's your
and
what's your favorite place in South Africa?
So I like where the diamonds are. So the Kimberley area. I like Cape Town. I like Cape Town as well. Okay. Johannesburg is a great city.
That is funny because I've never heard anyone say they like Kimberley. But of course you like Kimberley because that's where your diamonds are. That is
that's
interesting.
Right.
Cape Town is always the first one. When I ask people what's your favorite, they always go for Cape Town because I guess it is the most beautiful place to see, I guess you can say. It's a travel destination. Okay, I think I'm going to ask you now if you have any final words that you want to say to people who are listening, whether it's words of motivation, whether you want to speak more about Mouawad and what you stand for, just anything that you want to leave us with before we log off in the next 6 minutes.
Yes, so I would love for everyone to do what you're doing, Zozi, which is find a topic you're passionate about, a topic that will enhance humanity, speak about it, do something about it in your own life, become an example, lead by example, and use your voice to make a difference. And if we all did this, if we all focused on empowering people, on treating people equally, on focusing on people's growth, on making humanity better, then our world would become better. And everybody has the means of doing it. Even if it is just with 1 or 2 people, just whoever you touch, try to make that person better, try to improve the environment in which we all work in, and love as many people as you can as possible.
Absolutely. I love that. Still in the spirit of unity, I see. Definitely following our dreams and make sure that we are loving and we are kind to people. Fred, I want to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you, not only about Mouawad and diamonds, but just about, social issues, what you stand for and what is at the heart of, Mouawad as a family business. So thank you for answering the questions, because people had a lot of questions. I told you people would have a lot of questions for you because they love the crown. So thank you for taking the time, being kind and just dropping some pearls of wisdom. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much, Josie. It's a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I hope to see you in Thailand. Or
I hope so too.
Dubai,
I look forward to it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to everybody who just joined us. And it was so lovely to finally bring the crown back out again. I haven't worn it in quite a while, and so this was such a special occasion. I had to bring it out. I think if anything, what we can learn today from Fred and Mouawad is the power of unity. How much we are so much stronger together. If you run a mile alone, it's quite difficult than running it with other people. So remember to always hold hands, remember to always be kind, remember to always believe in the power of your dreams, and to always know that you are not alone. Crown, together we can achieve so many things. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy to bring the crown to you. Have one last look at it. There you go. There you go. Take as many screenshots as possible. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Thank you for your questions and just for being so engaging today. I absolutely loved it. And I will see you next time.